welcome back to another episode of the Livin Room Podcast without the G. I'm your host for today's episode, Jason. I'm joined with usually the boys, of course, Dom and Bryan. And we got a special guest today. It's none other than a brother from my same mother, Patrick.
Yes.
So welcome to the podcast.
Yes, thanks for having me, lads.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Glad you're able to come out today. It's been in the works. We tried a couple times, but schedules lined up this time, so glad you're here.
It's about time.
It's about time. Let's have some fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we should be hopefully having some good conversation here. We have some fail saves just in case it goes bad behind the scenes, but
Yep.
it should work out hopefully. So, how's everything going with you? I know you've been.
Yeah, man. Yeah, everything's good.
That's good.
Just moved into a new apartment, staying busy.
Nice. How was that whole process with the?
Oh man, it was
I know I
rough.
wasn't involved in it, but I gotta ask it as a
For
host.
people, most
audience.
most of the audience that doesn't know, my brother helped me move.
Yeah.
And it was just a lot of stuff. Like when you move, you don't realize how much stuff you have till you start moving.
Yeah,
Like
no,
things
yeah,
just
that-
like start spawning out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, where'd this come from? You know.
Right.
But my girlfriend and I, we picked up like a 1,000-pound table, and my brother knows we were moving that. It took like 6 of us to move it, so it was a process, but we're slowly getting there. But
Yeah. How's the furnishing come along? Getting it.
I
up
mean, we're
and
still
running?
trying to get like a couch and stuff, but
Okay.
that will come in due time. You know.
Right. It's definitely
expensive to move.
Yes, 100%.
So-
Especially if you're buying things you didn't have before.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Especially with the furniture aspect. So hopefully
Yeah.
maybe like you think about
Yeah.
Black Friday or Christmas.
Oh
looking for
yeah, yeah. I
deals
mean,
like
I
that.
want it to be as tidy as the Livin Room Podcast. You know, it's
Without
You
the
start your own
Without the
podcast.
Uh-oh.
This is copyrighted, so
for real.
yeah. We have people that almost did they steal our name? It's like similar.
You're
No,
calling
let's
out?
not talk about it. We're not
You're
trying to
gonna
give them
call
free
them out right
publicity, bro. Let's
Yeah.
not give them free publicity on our channel.
Yeah.
But
No,
Start some beef.
yeah,
for real.
well, that's good. You're getting acclimated to the new place.
Yep,
Getting
yep.
everything furnished. How do you like living in your new spot compared to your old spot now?
Oh, I like it. Way better. More amenities.
Nice.
Gym, pool, rooftop. You know, it's a good vibe. I live closer to like Little Italy for those in the Chicagoland
Well, you
area.
don't gotta share that. You don't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I mean,
Because
More
we had
more personable.
we had a time where someone else name dropped something in the past episode.
I
well,
wonder who
Little
it was.
Italy's
One
a
of the members
a broad
here.
area. You know, it's not
Yeah.
like
say
specific
this
address. So
Chicagoland, South.
Yeah.
And my social is.
Yeah.
shout out to everybody in Little Italy. You know. Yep. Yep.
So more better. Have you took full advantage of all the amenities? Like I know the rooftops. Have you gone
Trying
to the gym
to.
there
Yeah,
at
I've been
all?
to the gym a couple times, trying to get into the pool and stuff.
Nice.
So yeah.
Having people over, of course, probably.
Yeah, every now and then. Or we don't have that too many chairs, so you know it's a bring your own chair type of event.
BYOC.
Is it like a high rise or something?
No, it's like a six-story flat. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
But it's like a cool like rooftop like pool.
yeah, there's a yeah.
Can you like rent it out for like
yeah
party or something like
yeah
that?
yeah
Okay.
yeah.
All right,
do
next
so.
episode.
Barbecue, bro.
Next episode, we're gonna be
We're
at
taking
the
it to
pool,
the rooftop.
drinking margaritas, and
Uh-oh.
grilling up some weenies. Yeah. Yeah. But how's this whole process for you guys with the Livin Room Podcast?
I think we're getting better.
Yeah.
What episode are we on now?
I have no idea.
18.
I guess we
Oh,
are.
really?
I believe it's 18. Yeah.
Well, when we post it, it'll be 15. But yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going good. We're getting better. I think we just got to get more traction, get more of the short form content, as I've been telling them, like the boys, to get on. But
Yeah.
they haven't signed off on it, so it's never took off yet. So 'cause that's kind of where it is, because people don't have attention spans for long form content. So like you have to have it in bite sized pieces for people to like
Yeah.
get traction to like watch like the whole thing, like
Yeah.
what our episodes are.
Yeah.
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 But we're also planning on doing some kind of like short like gaming stuff as well, and possibly if you guys want to do like react videos,
Yeah.
it's pretty easy to set up. I mean, we already have the audio to do so.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
So
Absolutely.
and then we're trying to like probably eventually do some like IRL stuff, maybe stuff like that as well. Kind of
Mhm.
like we were talking about one thing. I don't know if we'll do it. We probably have to have the financial ability to do it because we saw inspiration from one YouTubers we watch is like I'll have what he's
Oh, yeah.
drinking challenge. So it's basically you go to couple bars, and like whatever the last tab of the last person that closed out, you like drink that.
Oh,
So if it's like 4 drinks, they split it between us 3. It's like we get one.
So
drink
either it might
per
be like
person.
1 drink or it could be like
Like
10
15.
drinks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feels like we should have done that episode right now. Oh, shoot. That was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be,
We can make this 2 hours if we wanted to.
Let's go on right now.
Yeah.
I'll turn into like a part, like episode 18, part 1, part 2.
Yeah.
Maybe a part 3. We don't know.
A trilogy, absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to brainstorm. We're like having ideas we haven't had them often, but we're trying to implement this thing called like content creator weekend. So when we get together, we kind of like brainstorm ideas
Yeah.
on things we could possibly do for like
Mhm.
future stuff for the viewers that are out there to tune in, because it's kind of very like in the box, just doing like a podcast. A lot of people do podcasts, so like if you do something that's a little bit more different, we might have like
Yeah.
specials.
Yeah.
I'm not going to reveal the specials that we plan on doing, but
Yep.
especially
Y'all just
for
got
what
to tune in. Tune
yeah,
in.
tune in to see for the future for us.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll try to turn the conversation back to you because you're the guest today, man.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I know we could talk about what we're going on, but you're
Yeah.
not here as much as we are, so we want to
Yeah,
maximize the time with
absolutely.
you. You know, so
Yeah.
I know that you are doing some pretty cool thing with
Mhm.
working with the Bulls. Like I
Yeah.
know how you like that process with them.
The Bulls.
Especially he's wearing a D Rose jersey.
Oh,
you
that's
know,
right,
he's
man. It's not
representing.
even mine, but
Yeah.
Don't tell them that.
Yep. Shout out to the Bulls. No, the Bulls is great. I work with their youth hoops program, and we coach up the young kids in their marketing department, and
okay.
it's a great time. This summer we were so busy. We helped like 1,800 campers throughout
Oh,
the
nice.
summer over like maybe 20 to 25 different programs. So it's a lot of kids, and we have a lot of repeat campers, I would say, that come. So that means they're like enjoying what we provide.
you
to
have,
them.
like,
So it's really exciting stuff that we're doing.
certain like pro athletes like have camps at the United Center? Do you like as the Bulls help them because of that? Like say like D
Yeah.
Rose like had his
Yeah.
camp and he's like, oh, I'm gonna use the United Center for like
Yeah.
these stretch of days. Since you're associated with the Bulls, do you mind helping for that camp? Something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, IO DeSumo had like a block party, so a lot of my colleagues they worked at block party. So he's
Okay.
doing great things for the community.
That's awesome.
And yeah, when the season starts, we're gonna have some more in-season camps. So whoever's watching this, sign your kids up for the in-season camps because it's gonna be a blast. We basically practice at the Advocate Center where Michael Jordan, all the legendary Bulls players have played before. DeMar DeRozan. Well, he's no longer there, but
Because he got traded.
he got traded. He got traded, unfortunately. But yeah, so we have a little camp there right before a game, and then we walk over to United Center to watch the game after. So those are fun camps to do with the young kids. So,
Nice.
yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah.
Is that something you plan on pursuing in like the future? Something in, like either to keep yourself busy with like when you get older, maybe like if you have kids or like
Yeah,
you have like
no.
or cousins like
Mhm.
recently had a kid, maybe you do something like that when he gets old enough to start playing
Yeah.
basketball and coaching that or something along
Yeah,
those
no,
lines.
definitely. Basketball has always been a part of my life, so I want to share my knowledge that I have of the game with the youth, the next generation,
Mhm.
because we're only on this earth for a finite amount of time, so we want to leave our ideologies behind. So that's
Right.
what I definitely want to impact the youth on.
Right.
Yeah,
That's big.
yeah, yeah.
And how
Mhm.
long have you been doing it there? Like what?
This is my second season, so no
Nice.
longer a rookie over there. They're
Oh, moving up.
yeah. They're giving me a hard time. They're like, oh, everybody's done this camp right before I worked this camp, this clinic, and they're like, oh, upset you, huh? But hey, now not anymore. Sophomore season. So, yeah, things are going great.
That's
so
good.
yeah.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
I know you've been getting really big into the finance and sports betting as well. Seeing like
Yeah,
we could
a little
probably
bit.
start with we do the sports betting since we're still on the topic of the
Yeah.
Bulls. Like,
Yeah.
how's that going for you? What are you using your approach to like make your bets in sports
Yeah.
betting and
Well,
along those lines?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I'm more of like a casual bettor.
Mhm.
I like to watch the games and makes watching the games a little bit more fun. But
Mhm.
my approach is very data driven. So I look on the analytics of how like the lines move. So basically, like the lines move in a more favorable position. You want to, of course, put a bet on there, and exploit those profits because each sports book has different lines, and then there's always a discrepancy between those sports books,
Right.
Mhm.
and you want to exploit that discrepancy to make the most money possible, you know.
And
or to
how many
be-
sports books are you using one?
as many
two?
as possible.
Okay.
Yeah,
That makes
yeah.
sense.
If you, the more if you want to be more profitable, you want to use as many sports books as possible because
Right.
each line for each sports book is
It's
going to be
different.
different.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you
So-
betting only for basketball or just?
just whatever. No, just based on how the odds are. You know,
Mhm.
whatever odds are favorable, I would
Yeah.
say is what I really place my bets on. So it doesn't really matter what sport, as long as
Yeah.
like, you know, you can make some money and enjoy.
Right. Because in the
doing it
past,
too.
like Bryan was trying to get involved in that scene too. So especially
Yeah.
like the boxing and whatnot.
I was
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
thinking about it. I never
Yeah.
actually.
No,
went
I'm
Yeah.
just
down,
like
so,
thinking. I never said you
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Um,
well, there's like this cool thing too called like arbitrage, where like on one sports book, depending on the odds, you can place like a smaller bet, and then on another sports book, you can put more money on it, and then either way it goes, you make money. So that's
Yeah.
where the arbitrage comes in.
So
So
it's basically it's a win when you can't lose.
Either-
That's what
yeah,
the-
yeah.
that's the-
That's
Yeah.
good kind of
Yeah.
betting.
yeah. Well, the profits are very slim unless you got like a big bankroll. Then you can get in like maybe like a guaranteed like $100, $250 or something. But I mean, more oftentimes people don't have that much bankroll to start off with. You know,
Right.
it's all about like growing that small account. So
Right.
yeah, it's just really interesting stuff. It's literally like the movie Moneyball.
Yeah.
We've talked
A
about
lot
it
of-
outside
lot
this
of
podcast.
analytics
Yeah, it's all like
involved in
analytics and
it.
seeing like how the data really drives those odds and performances,
Probability
how
of
you
winning and stuff like that.
predictabilities of outcomes. So yeah, it's really interesting stuff. So something that keep me busy.
Yeah.
But then again, like it's
And
not
it
that
makes, like
much.
you said, makes the games more interesting and
yeah,
involved
yeah,
a
because you
bit more.
want certain.
certain outcomes to occur.
Yeah, yeah, of course. And it only takes like 30 minutes, an hour of research, not even sometimes. So
Do you have to make an account on a bunch of different betting sites, or is there like
Yeah, so-
one app or something that can?
yeah,
can
so
be
like a
multiple?
FanDuel, DraftKings, or you know,
Caesars.
Caesars. Yeah.
Mhm.
So the good thing is like when you initially sign up, they give you promo money. So
Yeah.
when you like deposit money, they give
They,
you a little
like,
kickback. Oh, they'll be
uh-huh.
like, oh, here's another, or like they'll match your deposit. Here's another. You put in $100.
Ooh.
Here's another $100 you can bet with. So now you have $200 of buying power.
Mhm.
So that definitely boosts your profits. Like
Yeah.
if you're betting in a proper way, you know.
Mhm.
So, but then again, it's still betting. There's no guarantee. There are some locks, but there's like no guarantee. You think they're locks, but you know you never can really tell
Yeah, 'cause
with what's gonna
Upsets and
happen.
whatnot happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's better than like betting at a casino where it's like it's strictly
probability.
just chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where this is more like chance plus your knowledge of the sport.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean,
assuming everything's
some
fair,
casino
you know?
games, you know, like poker.
Well,
and-
some things aren't.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, the casinos are.
You
not
don't like
good.
them?
I mean, they're fun. I like to play blackjack. Blackjack's definitely a profitable game to play, but
Yeah.
it's still betting. There's no guarantee, you know.
Yeah.
So, but that's what makes it fun is because like when you win, you're riding that high, but when you lose, it's like man,
You're down in the
it
dumps.
hurts. It hurts,
There
man.
goes my money.
Yeah, literally.
They offer you like free alcohol like when you're like gambling as well. So it's like
Yeah, that's
way
more
for
in
you to
Vegas.
like mess
Not,
up.
yeah,
And,
Yeah.
it's more in
Yeah.
Vegas
Makes sense.
just because you know once
Yeah.
you get under the influence, then your decision making becomes poor.
that's what happened to me.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah.
Yeah. Hold on, what? When?
I went to
Vegas?
Vegas
Went to
a
Vegas?
couple of years ago with actually like our friends Joel and Shalom and
Oh yeah.
one of our other friends too.
Yeah.
Shalom's not introduced either.
He's not in the lore.
He's not on the lore yet.
But
Yeah.
would you play?
We did roulette.
Oh, that's my game.
Roulette.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
it's easy.
Yeah,
And
it's
then,
as
like,
easy as
Yeah.
you're
one.
winning for a bit and then like boom, you just lose everything.
Yeah.
That's why you
Yeah.
got to go by this thing like you got to go out when you're ahead because
Yeah.
always you're end
The
up
house
behind.
always
Yeah,
wins.
house always
Well,
wins.
they
all
well
those
they got like an
sayings.
online casino now.
Well, I'm not surprised.
No.
So hey, maybe video coming up. We gamble online here.
Yeah.
Online here, you see our reaction.
Debt speed run.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think we had a friend who's like an engineer as well, and he tried to like hack the game, I guess. Like he tried to come up with his own algorithm so that we'd win just a little bit of money every time we played. He's like, if we just keep this up for like 10 hours, we're gonna be able to make
10
our money back.
hours.
And like, we're not doing that. We end up like losing like a crap ton of money.
Yeah.
So
Or you have like the bad thing. He's like, oh, I lost this one, but I'll get it the next time. So I'm like, and then
he's
you
trying to
just-
I'm
explain
9
to me the
hours
plan.
in. Yeah.
He's trying to explain the plan to me, and I was already drunk. I'm like, I don't know what you're saying.
Time to put this money.
And
Yeah,
then,
roulette is tricky.
Yeah.
It's like all chance. There's really no.
And he's trying to help
strategy.
me up. Like,
Create cards.
we were pretending to be like we didn't know each other, and we had this whole plan.
That's like out of like the movie, like that one
Yeah.
movie.
Then the
where,
dealer's
counting
like,
cards,
I know what's
don't
going
Hangover?
on.
Like
Hangover
that
one? They were
Hangover,
kinda-
like
got-
21. There's like a movie called
21
21.
Jump Street? Or?
No, it's
No.
just like called 21 because like Blackjack.
Oh, yeah,
he
I think I
plays
saw that one,
21
yeah.
and like they
Yeah.
walk in as strangers and like do
It's like
doing
counting
hand
cards and
signals.
stuff, and
Yeah,
like
Counting cards.
just kind of like reading their body language, and
Yeah, well,
There's-
that's more.
there's a lot
poker.
more to
That's
that
more
movie.
poker. Yeah.
like
Yeah, how
I
does that
think you
help
had to
with
make a
roulette?
lot of money to like pay off
Yeah.
something that was like a life or death
Yeah.
situation.
Well, they were like college students, and then their professor was like taking them to like make all this money. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It was like
it
was an interesting
to
concept.
like learn how to gamble.
basically
That'd
like
be
yeah,
wild.
mathematicians, counting cards and using their
Big
their
brain.
their genius ability to take money from the casino, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't hack
Gotta
the game, man.
finesse.
It's
Gotta
just
finesse.
like
Gotta
Yeah.
finesse.
just gotta
Always
play the game,
finesse.
have fun, and if
Yeah.
you win, you win. If you
Yeah,
lose,
in moderation, you don't want to go too hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
on
fair.
everything, so.
Yeah. One of my other friends, like, he made enough money to pay for his like whole flight, so it's like it was like a free trip basically.
Oh, nice.
So it's nice.
That's another thing with like gambling, sports betting. I know like some of my friends are like, oh yeah, I basically got XYZ for free because I just did sports betting, and I won a bunch.
Yeah, but you always hear about the wins. You never hear about the losses.
Right,
That's
right.
so true.
Yeah.
For like basketball,
Sometimes.
football, or whatever, like, are there a lot of upsets, or is it pretty much like who's gonna win?
Well,
I mean,
football,
it
it's like
depends,
every given
really.
Sunday. That's the saying. So like even like the worst team could upset one of the best teams in the league.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
It's all
So,
about
like-
whoever plays better that day.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
So-
really
because that's why like when they say in football, like not always like the Super Bowl, like not always the best team's gonna win.
Mhm.
But, like in NBA or NHL or MLB, the best team always wins because it's like a series out of 7. So like
Yeah.
you have to beat that same team at least 4 times.
What if it's
Yeah.
like a stacked team? Like
you can still lose.
They can still lose.
Yeah,
Okay.
It doesn't matter,
Yeah,
it's just like how everyone plays.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also, there's like football is the biggest one. Is like condition. Like say one team plays really good in inside domes or warm weather, and then it's like raining or snowing or
Oh.
super windy.
Mhm.
So like obviously the weather's out on
Throws
your
them
side.
off.
So it's obviously if you're a team that practices in like a dome or a warm area, you're
Yeah.
not gonna be used to that because like the Miami Dolphins is a team that performs super well in warm weather or stadiums or domes. Stadiums is where they all play at, but in domes. And then say they go to like Chicago, like they're terrible because like they're not used to that type of weather. So like,
Exactly. Yeah.
So how do like the betting lines work? Like, is it seen mostly as like most games are almost like 50-50?
no.
No.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
Just like all over
No.
the place.
Yeah, they're all over the
Okay.
place depending on like
The
injuries, matchups. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of factors. I mean, but going off of what you said, there's an interesting book I read. It's called Sleep. I don't quite remember the author, but it was saying that how night owls versus like morning people perform better at their sport. Like if the game's in the morning and they're a morning
That makes
person, they
sense.
perform better. And then if the game's at night and they're like a night person,
Yeah.
they perform better at night. So that brings up like a great point. It's just like there's like many factors on like which team is gonna win, down to like the sleep. Not even just the training. Like if you get in the proper sleep, the proper training,
That's
it still fluctuates. So
Yeah.
it's very interesting stuff. The book's called Sleep. I can't quite remember the.
I think
the
I
author.
read the book too, but I can't remember the name.
Yeah.
Let me describe it though, like
Yeah.
just to see if it's the same book. Is it kind of like they look at case studies where like they study why people become successful and like all of like the things where you have to be lucky. Is it something along those lines?
I
or
mean, yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, sleep is a crucial thing, especially like if
yeah.
you're lifting weights. People think like you grow a muscle when you're lifting weights, but in
It's the
actuality,
rest.
it's when you're resting is when you
Or
grow,
the recovery
grow-
process.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
you grow weights. So that's why it's not too good to like work out all the time because you don't have the optimal rest you need to actually like grow.
Because you want your body
muscles.
to like repair like what was like opened up through lifting, so
Yeah.
you'll have new muscle on top of for the repaired ones.
Yeah. So
Some people are lucky enough to not have to sleep that much either. I know. I feel like you're one of them, but like definitely, like some people, like most people need around like 8 hours of sleep every day, but some people can function and like do pretty well under 3 or 4 hours of sleep.
yeah,
I don't know if like
not many people.
I don't know if that works
no
for like
way.
muscle building, but at least
I
for
doubt
like
it.
mental capacity, like some people actually they don't really need that much
Yeah.
sleep because of they're just blessed like that way.
Yeah, well, I know like Elon Musk in a lot of interviews is talking about like how he gets like 6 hours of sleep and like you know that man's a genius and he puts a lot of his life's work and time into like building up these big projects, you know, from PayPal to like Tesla, from Tesla to SpaceX, you know, like those are like phenomenal things. But I think for sleep you definitely need at least like six
Well, it's like
6 hours,
6 to 8.
ideally
6
7.
to 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like
7 or
more,
8.
but that's what people generally get, like 6 to 8. But it's
Yeah.
probably best to get like 8 to 10.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's
10's too much. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean,
then you're like
if you have a
almost
young
half a
kid,
day.
well,
But,
if you have a young kid, you know, you kind of want them to sleep in because that's where they grow. You know,
Well, that's
where
different.
they
Like,
repair.
like us.
especially like age. Yeah, age could be a factor
Yeah.
in things. So
Yeah. But it's such a big advantage if you only have to sleep 4 hours of sleep and that's all your body needs. Then you
Yeah.
can spend 20 hours just doing whatever you want to do.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's like
I think a lot of like
adds up.
entrepreneurs are kind of like that
Yeah.
though. They don't need
Getting no
a lot
sleep.
of sleep at
Yeah.
all. Like
And they're
I-
also workaholics too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
always grinding because
Yeah.
like that's kind of like their mindset though.
mhm.
Because like you're like in a sink or swim kind of mindset. Like if this what I bet in, if you're not a like successful entrepreneur yet, like you're like building yourself up.
Yeah.
Like this is all I have, so I have to like grind on this. So I'm like I'm not going to sleep because I need to like make whatever I'm dreaming become a reality.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. It also,
But even people like that are successful already, they're still hungry
They're
to be
still
more
working,
successful.
like,
Yeah,
nonstop.
exactly.
You're on like monk mode forever.
Yeah.
That's like how I describe it.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, in this day and age, you don't even need to do all that. That was for like I feel like brick and mortar. Like companies for that, like you had to be up all the time. Like mom and pop shops, you know, they're definitely working hard. But I feel like online now you can like make businesses
E-commerce and
online.
that.
Yeah, like doing some
Yeah.
e-com or, you know, building a personal brand.
Mhm.
Like that's really big. So
Yeah.
like Warren Buffett says, it takes 20 years to build a brand and it only takes 20 minutes to tarnish it. You know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, because I mean, just like think of athletes. You have like like sponsorships. So you have athletes wearing like Nike, Under Armour, and say like they get in some type of allegation or whatever. Most times they
Exactly.
get axed from the company because they don't want to be associated with that like drama
Yeah.
that's going on.
yeah,
So as you said, it makes sense. It's 20 seconds because
yeah,
whatever allegation that happened,
Get
like,
dropped instantly.
Exactly.
yeah.
I think that happened to Manny Pacquiao. Like,
Who was he sponsored with?
I think it was Nike.
Was
like
he?
he dropped it because of his comments on gay people.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah. Because I mean, he's a Catholic and he's like a devout Catholic at that. But he said like he doesn't really agree with them, and he did kind of compare them to animals, which
Oh,
like
wow.
I don't agree with that. Like I don't think he
That's
said they were
madness.
animals. He's saying like I forgot what it was, but he did apologize afterwards. But Nike was like, no, we can't.
They're just like, we're done.
supporting you. Yeah.
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 So like that was the first time I heard of like someone getting like technically canceled because this was before like cancel culture. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think it was like 2014ish.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
2013,
I
2014
hate
-ish.
cancel culture.
So
That's why I'm so happy that like Elon Musk got X now, is because it's more of like freedom of speech, how like our founding fathers wanted, you know,
who was the
things
last
to
guy?
be.
Jack Dorsey, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could have been. I'm
He
not
made
100%
Blue
sure.
Sky now. He has his
Oh, yeah.
own thing.
Oh
Yeah.
really?
Which is,
Yeah.
it's the
What's
same
Blue
thing.
Sky?
I think it's just like a
Oh, it's like
alternate
another
version.
Twitter.
Yeah,
Oh,
basically.
Twitter.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't use it, but I heard
Yeah.
about it.
Knew about it. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Elon
heard
Musk
about it.
like called Twitter X, and I feel like he named everything X. Like X is just this
SpaceX.
just
face
X.
letter.
What's
Didn't he
his
name one of
favorite
his
letter?
children something with like a bunch of numbers?
Yeah.
and, like, X or something
E
like
equals
that?
MC squared, I think.
I don't remember what it was. It
It
was
starts
like
with X. It's
Yeah.
X something.
Yeah.
and everyone was like criticizing him, saying like, "Oh, that's like child abuse."
Yeah.
And I don't know if he ever ended up like changing the.
Well, I remember having really bad child names. Michael Jackson had his son, and he named him Blanket.
Why? Because he keeps him warm or something like that? Like,
I don't know, man.
we're gonna get canceled.
No.
And that's the
Ooh,
end.
cancel culture, yeah. No, I don't like censorship. I feel like freedom of speech. You should be able to speak your mind, and people should be able to disagree and still, be friends and stuff.
Yeah.
Like agree to disagree, type thing. So
Yeah. My motto is if you don't want someone to like say something stupid, just let them say something that's stupid, and they'll cancel themselves. Like they'll cancel
If you don't want them
themselves.
to say
at some
stupid,
point.
they'll
Bro,
say
I'm
stupid. Just let them say it anyway. Even though you don't want them to.
yeah,
Yeah. Because a lot of people want to police like language and police
yeah,
like
exactly.
the freedom of speech because they don't want people being influenced like negatively or having maybe like having lies be spread. But then like who says you're the arbiter of truth?
Exactly.
So,
yeah, I mean, everybody lives in their own world. It seems like
A lot of people have their own opinions on things as well.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
got to be, as you said, like accepting of people that have different opinions and be friends with them at the end of the day. Because
You don't have to be friends. You just
well, no,
gotta,
like say like
I guess it
us
depends on
kids-
how
cordial,
intense
you
it
know,
yeah,
is.
us
yeah.
four have
Just
different
because-
perspective on things, and at the end of the day, we should be like still friends, regardless if all four of us have different perspective on this one topic.
Yeah.
But some people is like, you three have different opinions. Let's not be friends because
Yeah.
you're different ideologies than
Yeah,
myself. That's not how it
exactly.
should be.
Yeah.
I think
No.
having those different. I think we talked about like their first episode. Like having people that has different backgrounds, different perspectives on things, like makes the conversation more fuller and
Yeah.
organic than having something like a little more synthetic and fake because everyone's agreeing on the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it makes people scared now. The only person that can't get canceled is basically David Chappelle. He can talk about whatever. Not get canceled.
Yeah.
But like,
Everyone loves him. so,
Yeah. just because I don't know, people they're afraid to say things on camera, but they obviously say things behind closed doors just because of people hiding behind screens and commenting like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it," and it goes
Yeah.
on and
Yeah.
like cyberbullying and like all that stuff. It's crazy now.
Yeah. I mean, it was, I feel like, we're not that old or anything, but even like 10, 20 years ago, I'm pretty sure that nobody talked about politics in public. It was more so like you kept it behind closed doors. You just voted for whoever you wanted to vote for. But then you guys talked about what you guys had in common, like
less.
sports or like music or
Yeah.
entertainment or whatever. But now it's getting to a point where it's like pretty polarized and like people
Yeah.
are like
Right.
disowning
Oh yeah.
like friends, family or whatever for political views.
Right.
Yeah.
So and like social media, it's just like everyone just having like wars and shit
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's-
about like certain views.
About anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, cyber attacks, that could be
Mm-hmm.
a part of the New World Order.
Mm-hmm.
People think I'm like what is it when you believe in like those theories?
Conspiracy theories.
Conspiracy
Yeah.
conspiracy theorists
Yeah.
about like how. Well, I just think that, like this algorithm's trying to like control our minds, like on social media, on Instagram.
Well,
you talk
I
about
mean-
certain things, next thing you know, it pops up on your phone.
Yeah, it
How's
is.
it pop up
Yeah.
on your phone?
Yeah, like I've
They're
been talking
listening
to my
you.
friend about
you know?
something, and then it'll
It's-
pop up as an advertisement on like
Literally,
Facebook. I'm like,
yeah.
oh, this thing, they're like listening to me.
They definitely
But
are.
I don't think it's a conspiracy. It's more so like there are obviously like big tech companies that they have your data, so it's
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
it's
yeah,
not-
when you sign up,
it's not that
sometimes,
complicated.
Yeah, they
Like-
share that data,
Yeah.
and then that's how you get like those random emails.
yeah.
Those ads.
stuff,
yeah.
Yeah. You if you search something up on Amazon, it's connected to Google, and
Yeah,
then
you'll get, like, a
if you're
bunch
on
of ads for
YouTube,
it.
then you're gonna get a bunch of ads on YouTube.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's like
exactly.
that complicated. Like it's not a
Yeah.
conspiracy theory. I just think that companies are just doing what companies do.
But
Yeah.
also, it makes them more profitable by having that ad space on their platforms, like social media, like Twitter or X, whatever.
You're always getting
Facebook.
sold something.
Taking over
Instagram.
lives.
I would argue that's a good thing though. Like the whole like advertising
Ads
like,
everywhere.
Yeah, because it's kind of like they're getting you to like the product that you want right away, rather than you having to like search for it. It's like the
yeah, I mean, more or
algorithm's
less.
working its thing in the background.
But it makes you
But
think
it-
like what
but
else?
also-
Yeah, what else do they know?
That's
About
true.
you. What were you gonna say, Jason?
No, I was gonna just say like there's other like say like you want like a fan, there's like not just one fan you want, so like you have to like research what type of fan you want. You do want like a box fan? Do you want like one that rotates? So like there's like
Then you get ads for 10 different fans.
yeah, exactly. So like
Yeah.
it helps like curate what you're looking for or look towards, but it doesn't like give you like the exact one you're looking for. So like, I think you have to like research and search it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know, and like doom scrolling too. I don't know if you guys heard of that
no, I
term.
haven't heard of that.
I heard of that.
It's just basically you mindlessly like
Scroll, you just
Yeah.
read
And
negative
And I don't know if you ever
stuff.
seen like those TikToks where like those young kids are like drinking like their chocolate milk in one hand, they're like just scrolling through TikTok on the other hand.
Yeah.
Like,
I've seen that.
it's just mindless
Yeah.
behavior, you know. And
But I just
I
feel
feel like
it's
kids
getting
of like Gen Alpha are not really getting outside as like our generation, like millennials
people
or
don't play
Gen
outside
Z
anymore.
have.
No, they're all
before.
iPad kids.
Yeah.
And
Do you
these-
remember like playing like having these snowball fights like as kids? People don't do that
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
Well, you guys seen like the memes of like our generations of like, say you like or scraped your leg by like falling on the concrete or something, and then you're like, oh, let me just put some like sprinkler water on it.
Yeah.
And then you like see like a kid that's like alpha. He's like, oh, like hurt my thumb playing on my iPad and then just crying, you know?
Or they like cry till they get what they want and scream, you know.
Yeah, I mean, there's spoiled.
Yeah, I mean,
And
Yeah.
privilege is another
Yeah.
thing. People think they're like
not
entitled.
all
or-
of them, but you know, I feel like you see a lot of it though.
Yeah.
But it's just because of what everything's become.
Yeah,
like-
just imagine like well, not even imagine. This happened to me in the past. Is like I'm sitting at a restaurant, you know, talking with my friends, very like this, like very much like this, and you see a family over there and they got a little kid and stuff, and then you take away their iPad, they're screaming, they're
Yeah.
you give it back, and then all of a sudden
Yeah.
they're silent, you know. So
Yeah.
But it also goes towards even like kids that are like 10, early teens. Same idea. Like they're at a family dinner and like all of them are on their phones, not communicating to each other.
Right.
yeah,
Mhm.
I think times like this, like having people, especially guest episodes,
Yeah.
are like good because we have these conversations and it's not like very like never not talking to one another because that's like a big thing. Or
Yeah.
like having moments like these,
Yeah.
collaborating with one another, conversating, you know,
Just kinda
catching
living in the
up.
moment,
Yeah,
yeah.
being in the moment. Yeah,
Mm.
is that something people really appreciate these days? Because
Yeah,
it's like getting more and more lost.
yeah.
Just
Each
scrolling through
generation,
nothing.
yeah.
Yeah, it seems like everything's so superficial and like
Mhm.
artificial.
Fake, yeah.
And everybody's doing things for like the look now on
Yeah.
like Instagram or Twitter, you know.
Well, it's just the appearance. Like they put on this.
yeah, persona.
Yeah, I was gonna say
yeah.
fake persona as well.
Have you heard the concept of dopamine detox?
No.
Yeah,
I heard
I've
dopamine,
heard
but not
that.
like that.
Yeah.
What's that?
detox
Like,
aspect of
basically,
it.
like you're, I mean, like a lot of our, like what's set up in society, like we're looking at screens and stuff. Like when we hear the news, it's always like things that are supposed to like grab your attention, but then like over time, like if you know your day's full of that kind of stuff, then like you just use so much like dopamine, you don't have like anything left over. Like same thing with
Yeah.
like watching and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like,
basically, yeah, like you don't jack off, or
Yeah.
you don't go on social media or post on social media because
Yeah.
when you get that like, you get dopamine. It's like, oh,
Oh,
man,
yeah.
somebody just liked my post. Yes, I
Yeah.
feel good about myself. Or hitting a vape, you know,
Yeah.
you hit that vape, it's like, oh yes, I feel good about myself
Yeah.
now. You know, that's
Yeah.
like what the dopamine detox is.
Okay.
Yeah, eventually, like we're just so used to like that high level of dopamine that like
Yeah.
when we don't, when we're not excited about something, we just feel antsy and like we need more of that. And a lot of people are depressed.
So it's kind of like a withdrawal,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, and a
So
lot
I
of
need
people
something
are.
to fill that.
We need
by
like it's better
doing those
to
things.
like for things to be boring sometimes.
Yeah.
Because it resets like your dopamine levels,
Leads to
and you could feel
creativity.
happier throughout the day, more
Yeah.
energy and stuff
Huh.
like that.
Yeah, being
So-
bored leads to creativity.
Yeah.
That's very true, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you just stay in the house.
Yeah,
And,
so it's
you
good
know,
to like not look at your phone too much. Maybe don't
Yeah.
play video games all day. That's why like
calling me out.
And now
when
the
I see-
podcast is canceled.
when I see kids that like they can't like they grew up with like tablets, phones, computers, and they never really knew what it was like to just be outside in the sun and like hang out with people and stuff like that.
Or they lose like the social skills as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like they don't have the motive. Like when you don't have enough dopamine left over, you don't have the motivation to do anything.
Yeah.
So
Makes
it's,
sense.
like which I should probably stop listening to podcasts while I'm maybe working on things like that I want to get better at because
Yeah.
you know my mind is too engaged with that stuff, but I'm not really focusing on the thing on task.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Task.
so-
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like deep work, You know,
Yeah.
yeah, like 30 minutes of deep work beats like 4 hours of just working. You know, you just like dive deep into your work and then crank out some things and
Grind.
yeah,
Lock in.
Lock in.
well, it's good to like take micro breaks. You know, back when I was in school studying, like I would study for like an hour and then all right, like 10, 15 minutes, just unwind. A
Well, that's
little
what they
bit and
recommend.
Get back into it. Yeah,
It's like every hour you should take like a 5 to 10 minute break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard it before.
Yeah.
Like, have you heard of the Pomodoro technique? I think that's what it's called.
no, what's that?
I never
Is
heard of
that-
it.
It's I think it's like kind of like what you said. Like you work on something, no distractions, like no like music in the background, like no nothing for 10 minutes, and then you take a 5-minute break. And like you can set a timer like through the app, so that it tells you when you're gonna switch gears, like from working to break, working to break, and it helps you focus rather than you trying to like strain yourself, trying to cram things in for like an hour.
Yeah,
So I've been kind of like incorporating that into like my own goals. Like if I'm like playing piano or something,
Yeah.
I'll do like boring scales and chords for like 10 minutes and then take a 5-minute break, and then I'll revisit that like later in the day or something. But I'm not trying to grind like I don't grind things for like 6 hours straight anymore, because at some point like there are like diminishing returns.
Yeah.
By you're just like doing the same thing and you're bored and you're
Losing interest in it.
Yeah, and if you do things wrong and you keep doing it, then you're building bad muscle memory.
And habits and whatnot.
Yeah, so that's like with anything that you really want to learn.
Right.
yeah,
So
yeah. That's crucial. If you think about humans are all about creatures of habits. That's what we
Yeah.
are. We're social creatures. Well, we should be social creatures, and then our habits basically are who we are. You know, it takes 21 days to build a habit. It's
Yeah.
so easy to break habits. You know.
Yeah.
It's hard to build good habits too, because the bad ones are just easy to do.
To
you
get back
know?
into. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like going to the gym, taking time out of your day to drive there. You know, sometimes it's busy. You gotta wait for equipment. You know,
Yeah.
it's like things like that. So,
That's why, especially like eating clean, you know, like
yeah. Oh yeah.
That's
it's
tough.
hard to eat clean.
Yeah.
It's very
especially
hard.
like how fast like we go with life. Everything's like back to back to back, trying to like to make
Yeah.
most of it. Like, so you go to work, then you have an activity afterwards, like
Yeah.
you're going to the gym, or so you have like an extracurricular like with your
The traffic and
traffic as well, you know, and then you're like tired with that, and then
Yeah.
you don't have time to cook, so you get like fast food, you know, and then
It's just too convenient.
yeah,
Yeah. But then
it
again,
goes
like,
back to food.
is that food even real? Like in America, I've seen videos in like other parts of the world where they ban basically U.S. foods.
Oh, yeah.
Because some of
Yeah.
it's just
So
most of
processed.
it. Most of it probably is all processed. There's very like minimal stuff in the grocery store nowadays that is like actually organic and like good for you. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
RFK Jr. was actually talking about this like
Was he?
yesterday.
yeah.
Because he dropped out of the race, but he said that he wanted to focus on making America like healthy again. Like in terms of like he knows there's a lot of like big like businesses
Yeah.
that
Size that big.
Big.
well, a lot of like corporate businesses that like pretty much handle a lot of the food.
Majority of it. I mean, Cisco.
Yeah.
If you guys ever heard of Cisco, they, for every restaurant in Chicago, they're probably at least, like, of their pantry, there's probably at least like 50% of that stuff is just from them.
Yeah, but there's a lot of
Probably.
like food coloring,
Yeah.
dyes. There's a lot of like weird chemicals that shouldn't be on there, and a lot of Europeans, like as you said,
Like Red
wouldn't-
40, that's one of
Yeah,
them.
like their version of the FDA would be like, "F no, we're not gonna like have this in our food."
Yeah.
For some reason, like you know, like for ours, like it's just like this passes, but then there's a large percentage of people right now that have like ADD, ADHD.
Yeah,
There's a
yeah.
lot of people with what's the word for it? Autoimmune disorders and stuff like that. So like a lot of it could have to do with like the food that we're consuming.
Yeah.
'Cause it's
or
not
the
just-
content we're consuming too,
Yeah.
and stuff like ADHD, like being on your phone a lot, I feel like could be another factor of.
Yeah.
Definitely.
There's
Having
not much
that-
research being done
Yeah.
on it, and
Yeah.
it's weird that there's so many people like they have this, you know, and
But I feel like some things, like food, that's why I always say, like, some things are always going to get us, because I feel like a lot of, like, cancers derive from, like, food we eat as well. I could just be making this up, but I feel like, there's, like, been research that's been done that people have certain types of cancers because they're eating these certain types of food. So that is, like,
Yeah.
a big, or not benefactor, but a big, like, reason why they got, like, that
Yeah.
cancer, because say they're having way too much meat, so they're not maybe having XYZ affect them and stuff like that, so...
Yeah.
there's
So I
also like microplastics in food sometimes. and
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
so we're like we don't really know what we're eating. We're just kind of like accepting it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
like, oh, it tastes good. Like, it should be good for you, type thing.
Mhm.
Right.
So,
But
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I like to shop at Trader Joe's.
I've been going to Aldi recently because
Aldi's okay, yeah.
like Walmart's
Same-
considered
same.
like cheap.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's made by I think it's the same. Like it's a
Parent
European company.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to go to
Something like that.
Walmart a lot because like it's considered like the cheap grocery store,
Mhm.
and then I went to Aldi and it's like half the cost of Walmart. So Walmart was only convenient because of like there's like Walmart Plus, large selection of food.
Yeah.
But I think Aldi like really like stepped up its game,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just going there from now on.
Yeah.
They also have delivery. I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
Ah,
you're
Look
bougie,
into
huh?
it, so might as well go for that.
Groceries delivered, huh?
Yeah, I mean it saves time. Like if you're gonna be at a grocery store for an hour, just like
And then you have to drive there. And
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
It's about like 5 to 20 minutes, depending how far. Then Aldi or Walmart or Target, whatever you get your groceries at. Trader Joe's is at. Like
Yeah.
who knows?
I think
where's the next
$10
one?
is worth the convenience.
For delivery.
Yeah,
Hmm.
because it's like an hour or more of your time.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Like I usually just try to go grocery shopping after work, but sometimes it's just better to like order while I'm at work, and then when I drive home, by the time I get home, like it's already there.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, picking
Yeah.
up.
Oh, wow.
I do that.
Saves time.
It
If you do,
just
like, every
depends on how
weekend-
frequently you use it as well. You want to like maximize because if you're like getting groceries like
every
say like
week.
well, every week, then
So,
you're like
yeah.
getting the most out of the $10 then. So it's like
Mhm.
$2.50 every week. But if you're like saying you're like ordering
No,
obviously
obviously
how much you
$10
order,
per
too, though.
delivery. It would be like 40 almost.
oh
but-
per delivery, it's not
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so it's better
Subscription,
to
$10 per month.
it's-
per delivery. Okay.
Yeah, it's better to do the $10. It's better to do like less deliveries, but then depends on how big your fridge or freezer is. Like if you have a bunch of them, then great,
If you
or
don't,
you can just go to
you gotta-
Costco or something like buy
Yeah,
it yourself.
Costco, right?
But
Yeah.
does
Bulk
Costco
buy.
do delivery?
I don't know.
I don't think
Oh.
so.
Mm.
Yeah.
They have an app. That's all I know.
Mm-hmm.
But does it say the
Yeah, I
delivery?
don't
I
know.
don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I don't know, man.
Yeah. I'm just always trying to think of ways to like I guess min max like I guess
Life.
like yeah, like having as much time as possible because
Yeah.
I mean you're working anywhere between 8 to 10 hours a day,
On top
and
of
then like
commuting.
traffic on top of what else? You got like errands to do. You still got like
Yeah.
cook food for yourself, like
Yeah.
wash the dishes, take showers, go to the gym. Like
Mhm.
like after all that stuff, you might only have like 2 hours to yourself. So,
Mm.
but if you can like minimize the time it takes to do things, like you do like meal prepping or something, or you just buy things that are like processed, but you make sure you don't eat too much or whatever, then
Yeah.
or you get delivery, like every little thing adds up, and then before you know, you have another extra couple of hours,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and like per day, and then
Opportunity cost.
yeah,
Everything has a cost.
hmm
Whether it's your time, as you mentioned, capital,
Yeah.
It's getting hard out here, though. I don't know, I was talking with Jason the other day. We are talking about, like, how houses 2 years ago were about, like, 215,000.
hmm where like here,
Yeah, just like the average home. And then now you try to get a home, and now it's, like, 405.
Yeah,
You know,
insane.
just in 2 years,
Mhm.
the price doubled for, like, a median average home,
Yeah.
like, sale price. So that makes you think, like, what about us, how are we going to buy homes in the next like 10 years,
yeah,
are
What
those
are they gonna
prices
be?
going to be
Yeah.
like quadruple
yeah.
or something,
Hope
like, yeah,
Or what if you choose not to get married? Then how are you gonna afford a house like that on your own?
exactly. Or
Like,
you have
unless
to
you
get like
make it.
roommates.
Unless you make
Unless
it
we
as
make it,
the
it won't be
living room
good.
without the G,
Yeah.
Will be good.
You get the living room without the G house.
So like, I'm not really a
That's a fair
expert when it
point.
comes to like money
Yeah.
because I didn't really study like accounting or finance or whatever.
Yeah.
But like when inflation happens, like I would assume from like printing a lot of like money,
Yeah.
like it devalues everything.
Right.
So like wouldn't like, I guess why wouldn't wages just catch up so that it's like it catches up to like what it is right
Consistent.
now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Or does
well, I feel like the system.
That's like some
kinda
economics
wants-
as well.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
system. I don't
Yeah.
know. I feel like they want to keep the middle class down, You know, because who pays for everything is the middle class.
Because it's the majority of the
Yeah.
population.
Yeah, and
We're
that's-
like 80,
And they get
90%.
taxed the most,
Yeah.
A lot of the rich people, they don't get taxed like that just because I would say
They
they're more
offshore and
savvy.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're a little more savvy with their finances. And yeah, with like inflation, well, if you think about it, if you have a million, 10 million Charizard cards versus like only having 10 in the world, obviously the less you
rarity.
have, the more rare it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then in turn, the more value. So just like you said,
Mhm.
like you print more money, it becomes less valuable.
Right.
And then the rest of that money that like where does that go?
Well, I don't know. This is so
That's
weird.
that's where I'm kind of
It-
like confused because
well-
like with inflation, I'm confused about
Like why they're printing it?
No, I'm confused about like if there's more money introduced to the economy, then like that money should
Like in
find
the
its
flow
way
of
back to the
market.
people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So then it would be like the same thing. And like if you're making like say 50K a year, and then there's like inflation, like eventually over time, you'd probably you'd have like the same buying power like over time. But it seems like people are losing their buying power.
Right.
Yeah.
And like maybe the money is just going to the rich and it's not being spent. Or something
Well,
like that.
I mean, I feel like the cost of doing
relation.
business nowadays is more expensive. That's why you go to the grocery store now compared to 2 years ago. It was cheaper back then 2 years ago because the cost of doing business was cheaper. Now they got to like pay more in wages
And also
or
like
cost of
inventory.
goods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you could go to
cost
like
more.
a grocery store and you could see like the meat section. There's like barely any meat because there's not
Yeah.
like they don't have
Supply
inventory.
chain
Yeah,
issues,
stuff like
yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, I know like during COVID they like all the like
The toilet
China-
paper.
Yeah.
Oh,
supply
no,
chain
I remember.
things.
Because the way I see it, it almost feels like throwing money away. So
Well, I mean, if you really think about it, and if you're listening to this, you got to think about this too.
mhm.
Well, I'm gonna tie it back to like the Boston Tea Party. They got like a 2% tax raise, and they're
Okay.
trying to like overthrow the government. That's why they threw all the tea off board. They're trying to overthrow the government and stuff. But nowadays, for us, we're getting taxed like 30-40% of our income, and we're just letting it happen. And it makes you think that if they could just print money, why do they need our tax dollars? If they could just print more money, what's the purpose of getting these tax dollars from people? Is it just the illusion of us giving money to the government, thinking that we're like chipping in towards like infrastructure and stuff?
Yeah.
I think it's
Policies
kind of like a
and whatnot.
smoke and mirrors. Like
Yeah.
if they could always just print more money, why are they taxing us?
We don't get to
You know?
vote on what they spend the money on. We're voting people in, and then they get to choose.
Yeah,
Based
Yeah,
on
but
what
then,
they say and hopefully what
Yeah,
they
then
say actually
Congress,
happens.
Yeah, Congress votes on it.
We have
yeah.
no control over like inflation,
Yeah.
and like, which kind of sucks. Like, 'cause
But-
we get affected, so it's.
But I
the
mean,
most,
we
yeah.
the people have a choice that we can like band together and kind of
Have an
overrule the
uprising.
government. Yeah, kind of
revolt.
kind of revolt, but in the
it's not just the
for the greater
president, it's,
good
like,
of,
the whole
you
federal
know,
government is
yeah,
the whole system.
spending a lot of money. And,
yeah, it's just overspending.
Yeah,
there's
'cause-
some things that like are like there are good programs to have for sure, but I just don't know how efficient they are. Because
Yeah.
I mean, I have friends that work in the Fed, and just like it's kind of an easy job, and if they need to make a big change or whatever, they just throw money at the problem. So instead
Hopefully
of
it fixes itself.
yeah.
yeah, but the thing is like that's not just money you're throwing at the problem. That's like people's money. So
Yeah.
it's like
Right.
you could tax people more or whatever. But I'm not against like government programs. I just feel like I would want to know like the details behind like everything.
But
So I know it's
sometimes
not
they
being
like have
wasted,
like
so.
the main idea is this one thing, which it should be for, but they have like little like ties-ins of like little hints of things they actually want to like get done too. Like say for example, they want to do infrastructure, but they have like this little note here is like, oh, spend 1 billion, 100 billion on like the Ukraine war, giving aid to Ukraine, but like the whole thing was for infrastructure. It passed because it's infrastructure, but they're also spending these other resources on like other things. I'm not saying it's bad to do, but I'm just like they're not
They're always
as,
hiding something in
Yeah,
there,
it's not as
yeah.
black as white. It's there's a lot of gray with all the things that they try to do because a lot of shady business.
Are these
politics.
bills public online? Like, because they could say they're
Maybe.
giving
I
money
mean,
to
I feel like it
Ukraine,
should be,
but they could just be giving it to like Zelensky or whatever. And,
Right.
Like, it's not actually going towards helping the war cause. It's just like making some Ukrainians richer,
Right.
or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't
And
know.
Well,
I,
I mean,
wouldn't agree with that, but I don't.
That's
I
why
don't know.
Yeah.
politicians, some of them, if you look at their salaries online, they're only making like 100K, and then you see like how their lifestyle is.
Yeah.
They got like all this
Those
insider
mansions.
information.
Yeah.
Yeah, mansions, private jets. Like, how are they
It's
making
backdoor money,
millions
so-
of
Backdoor
dollars?
money,
Exactly.
stocks,
There's
stuff like
obviously
that.
something going
Mhm.
on behind the scenes,
Right.
And then while it's us, the middle class, that gets stuck with the bag because we don't
Yeah.
have that access to information as they do, and they try and throw distractions our way, and next thing you know, we're not really focused on what's really happening in this country,
Yeah.
or what's really happening to our families and stuff. So
Yeah, I would like to get someone on the podcast that like knows more about like certain things, because I always like wondered, like, let's say you're running for president and like people like obviously donate to support you,
Yeah.
but let's say you
Yeah.
don't spend all of your money, like maybe money you get from like a PAC or a super PAC. Do you get to keep all that stuff and like enrich yourself, or like is that solely only for like running?
I don't know. I feel like
So-
they would be very transparent with their funds.
Mm.
Or they should be at
Especially-
Yeah,
least.
they should.
Yeah, they
Doesn't mean
should
they
be,
will.
just because they want
Or are.
the
I don't know, like,
votes,
who's
you
checking?
know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is very like sensitive topic, but I've seen like a documentary in the BLM, how like people were raising money for that, but the people that were the head or like the leaders of it, they were misspending that money. They were buying mansions for themselves,
Yeah.
and like all people are like donating all this money, and they're just like enriching themselves,
Yeah.
as you mentioned earlier. So
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like there has to be like some transparency with
Right.
that when it comes to like building up those
Fundraising.
fundraising, building up those programs that are very like sensitive to certain groups of people, or just anyone for that
I
matter.
don't think it's against the law though, so it's like it's more about the people needing to educate themselves before trusting. Like,
But like, say
giving
they
them
have
money.
this face of what
So-
it is, but like behind the scenes, it's not
It's
actually
just-
that.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I know there's the same thing. There's like a YouTuber that had like a charity stuff that happened for his mom who like
Oh.
passed away.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was effed up. Yeah.
What,
Yeah.
what happened?
He was misallocating the funds because like he's doing it in
It was
life
for like
for his
a
mom.
dementia program or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
I couldn't remember specifically
I
what
think it's
happened.
dementia.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
people from his YouTube channel, and like he would have like a one charity event or weekend dedicated to that. So like every fund you would expect be going to that, but he was misallocating the funds to using it for something else.
Like for himself?
Yeah.
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 Oh man.
And it's like
Profiting
supposed
off
to be
of
for
like
like
someone else's
dementia research. Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
issue, which is it's like messed up.
Right.
Yeah, money's the root of all evil.
Right.
you
Yeah.
know?
But at least people are like, the good thing with social media, like as toxic it could be sometimes, people are like, I guess more like woke in terms of like, if someone does
Information.
something bad, like it's pretty much out in the open. And there's a lot of
Yeah.
people that will like call it out, and it's you can't really get away with like certain things anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Because there's always like, with social media, there's always some type of paper trail. I don't
Yeah,
know.
back
And
to
someone
what
will
you're
find
doing.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I don't really agree with like judging somebody on something they did 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But at least like if it's something like now and people are like telling like a group of people one thing and another group of people another thing, at least you could call them out and saying like you're actually like lying and you're not like consistent or whatever. So that's where it's like a good thing. Yeah.
But like, what's a good thing?
That people can see people if they're being like two-faced, or if they're maybe they're saying one thing to a group of people and then another thing
Don't
to another
follow
group of
through.
people.
Yeah.
Or you're just trying to like play both sides or whatever. Now you
Yeah.
can't like before like social media you can kind of do that, and like there's no way those people would be able to communicate
Track
with
you.
each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like con men or whatever. But then now it's just like it's so much easier to catch people that are trying to be snakes.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, the thing with money is like, money doesn't really change who you are. It just amplifies who you actually are.
It's true.
So.
Yeah. But I feel like you don't even know who you are until you have the money.
Yeah.
So like we could be like very bad people given the power, and yeah, we were talking about like Death Note like in our last episode. And it's just like if you were given the Death Note, like you would probably tell yourself like, oh, I would never do that. But it's like, but given ultimate power, like
Yeah.
Could,
Basically.
so-
Yeah.
so it's some. I feel like it might be kind of a blessing to not like I guess to be like humbled a little bit. Like
Well, it's
maybe
kind of the thing is like with even like with Spider-Man is like with great power comes great
Yeah.
responsibility.
Yeah.
So like if you had that power, what would you use that power for?
Yeah.
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 Would you use it to be like Light's case and Death Note and try to be a god, or would you like pick and choose when you use it? So
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think we hit our time. Is there any closing remarks, Patrick, you want to add in before we close out this episode? It flew by for sure.
If there's any takeaways from here, watch what you're eating, get good sleep, and make sure you're really looking into yourself and realizing that not everything you see is true. You got to be able to think for yourself. So, but it was grateful being on this podcast with y'all. Hopefully there's part 2, part 3, part, whatever, or maybe
See where we left off.
or you know what, we're gonna start a live stream. You never know. We're gonna go live streaming. We're gonna hit the bar and we're gonna drink drinks.
Live
or
from
have
the
a good
living
time.
room.
Yep. So no, it was great. It was really fun.
Yeah.
We'll definitely do this again.
Yeah, look forward to having you on in the future.
Yeah.
Thank you again for being on.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah.
This concludes this episode of the Livin Room Podcast without the G. I'm your host, Jason, yet again with the boys and our special guest, Patrick, signing off for this week. Bye.
Peace.
Bye.